Do we want to take an element of a conversation we had in the group here?
I'm going to go to the group.
About soca?
Oh, yes, we should, because I got attacked. The woman from that page. Brother.
Okay, so for context, yeah, there's a... Can you go to... what was the page called? I think it's called It's Soca something or the other, innit? Yeah, go in the messages. Anyway, it's like there's a conversation basically talking about what we talked about here in the pod, bro.
Yeah, I remember.
We talked about it. The floats. So they're banning some floats from being able to be on the strip that are not that don't do masquerade.
All floats for alternative music and some floats for no.
It's alternative music, yeah.
Yeah, alternative music gone.
Okay, on the strip.
On the strip.
So I talked about this on the pod before, where I said, "Listen,
you're for it.
I am for it," but like I'd seen this conversation come up like a few years ago. I think I first saw it come up in 2018. Yeah. Where I started to see like people within the community just saying, like, raising a little bit of concern, saying that like the strip is losing its authenticity, yeah. But look, I'm not a soca head, so to be honest with you, I just wasn't really paying too much attention to the conversation. Obviously, I've been going to Carnival since I was a youth, and I go every year, and I know what I like in Carnival. So what I would always do is when I'd come out, it's a bit different now, but I'd come out at Holland Park train station, yeah, walk down the road until I get onto Labatt Grove Road. I'd walk down towards Labatt Grove train station, and as I'm doing that, you start seeing like people playing mass and doing all that type of stuff. And I'm in the mix for a little while, but ultimately, you know where I'm going, to the sound systems, because that's my thing.
I hear it.
Yeah, that's my thing.
I hear it.
So when I saw it like come up, I just didn't really pay too much mind to it. Then I noticed that in 2019, the following year, was when the conversation came up about Afrobeats being there.
Yeah.
I started seeing that brewing a bit. And then I would say, I'm watching it, I'm looking at what's going on and whatnot, and I'm like, okay, cool, I understand where people are coming from and whatnot. Anyway, when I went to Carnival recently, still had I had a great time on the strip and at the sound systems, yeah. On the strip, I noticed it felt extra different to how it had been before.
Previously.
But again, though, I'm just here to just have a good time. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to play music. I don't want to do none of that. So whatever is going by, I'm just enjoying it for what it is. But when I took a moment to think about it, I'm like, if I'm being honest, this strip right now feels culturally messy and traditionally messy to me. Like, it's just, there's a lot going on, and I'm like, I just feel like the places for each thing can be here, but they're just in the wrong places. So anyway, this has come up, and we had a light debate about it in the group. Do you want to, like, have you got anything to expound on it, or
I don't know what I'm thinking about it.
Do you feel different about it now?
I don't feel different. No.
Okay.
I feel the same. I'm not too changed.
Well, what's your take?
My take on the situation is this, and obviously I have to first of all admit I'm Jamaican, so I'm going to be biased to what is my preference, and maybe my view shouldn't be taken on board purely because of that. But unfortunately, it's compromise, isn't it? Chuckie, I think the moment you live outside of the space in which you're producing a piece of content, there is, whether you like it or not, compromise. I'm not here to discuss whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what happens. If I wanted to make, traditional Caribbean food from Jamaica and England, you can't go to a restaurant and tell me it's not compromised. If I want to make commercial hip-hop or Afrobeats music and I bring it over here, you can't tell me there's not going to be a compromise. There's always a compromise. You have to compromise. We're in the Western world, so we can't fully be ourselves. And the compromise I'm asking you to make, because I know you've already compromised to get the opportunity to host a carnival in West London, traditionally from the other islands besides Jamaica, because them love soca more than we. You've had to compromise with someone. With somebody. Now, from my time and my experience in Carnival, I have heard reggae on the floats. Not the most. No, of course not. But I've heard it. That's what my dad would with holding my dad signed on whatever, we just stand next to that float until they played it, and when they didn't play it no more, we'd listen to some soca, and then they'll take us to go get some food or whatever, and then we'll go to a sound system. So that's my experience throughout it. So when that's gone now, I'm like, I understand the tradition, I understand what you're saying, and then I sent you how much people live in Trinidad and how much people go to Carnival, and it wasn't to ridicule them saying,
oh, sorry, bro, I read it wrong. I saw what you put in the group, but I thought you put in a different stat, so I replied to it wrongly. I didn't realize that was the number of people that went. Anyway, cool. Yeah, people don't know what we're talking about. But
yeah, so I sent a stat in the group. I said 1.5 million people live in Trinidad.
My bad.
There's 2 million people going Carnival. Whether you like it or not, we're gonna have to compromise. So I'm saying, I know who I'd rather compromise with. My own. I would rather compromise with my own, for the simple fact that in 2024, if that is going to be the only thing you do on the strip, I think you potentially miss out on the little Jamaican boy that wanted to listen to reggae and then goes, wait a minute, that's kind of lit, you know? To the point where he can go Soca v Bashment in the early millennials. I went Soca v Bashment, and then when I would go Carnival, I would try to have separate experiences because my entry point to it was reggae music. And now I'm like, what? We can listen to, this is cold. For you to just eradicate all of that and then just say, just going to be soca on the strip, and then restrict all of the other individuals. Bear in mind, there is 1.5 million Trinidadians and 2 million people going Carnival. Not to say everyone doesn't have other people in other islands. It's just to let you know how small of a group of people it is in comparison to Carnival. I just think now, like if we take a look at the map of Carnival, the strip's going to probably be empty. And now you got bare overcrowding in other areas because all of the other alternative music is going to be played in a place where there's not even that much space. So for me, I'm just like, this is a little bit like, have you been West London? Yeah, there are big streets, but there are some really narrow parts where you're hearing grime and the nearest man to you is literally attached to you. So I'm like, to prevent certain things like that, to make sure that Carnival is still good for everybody, because you're going to compromise. I'm saying if it's 100% soca, it can be 95. It could be 92. But I understand why you wouldn't want to.
I wish I wrote down the points that I disagreed with, because there's certain elements of it that I do, but there's one element where I say that, okay, my first and most important point is this, yeah? So I'm definitely on preserving tradition. I think that is like certain elements of it or certain traditions are great to preserve. Others ain't.
Can I just echo that as well?
Yeah.
I'm a believer in that as well. Of course,
yeah.
Thank you.
So one of the reasons why, I think, there's many reasons why, but there's one reason in particular why I feel strongly about this today, yeah, is because there's a lot of conversations about moving Carnival. Like the outsiders have been looking at trying to move Carnival for some time now. And I believe that if you infiltrate this section of it too much, what they can end up saying and what they will end up saying is, well, it isn't what it used to be anyway, so you lot can just be in the park. However, wait, let me finish. Yeah. However, if this stays to the full tradition of how it's supposed to be, and we stick together in that, when it's time to move it, they can't move that. Because this is a traditional thing that has been going on since the 50s. Yeah. And it's like, we've kept it and we've preserved that. You can't now just change it, because you can't just move it because it's now become something different, even though it's still within our own. Also, my other thing is, again, I guess it kind of lightly goes to the black experience thing that I was talking about before. It's like, nobody is saying that reggae can't be played at Carnival, because it does. That's where I am. Dancehall gets played at Carnival, jungle gets played at Carnival, garage gets played at Carnival, Spanish music gets played at Carnival. Everything can get played at Carnival, but certain things just need to be in the right spaces. So I'm like, when I go to the strip here, you're right. I do hear pockets of other things. I do. But you know what it is though? From what I noticed, yeah, traditionally, and I've seen this for years, the soca DJs have been really smart at how they do it. So they'll be playing soca. That's predominantly what they do. But within the BPM that it might be, let's say there's a soca song that is like 114 BPM or whatever, and they're playing a bunch of tunes. They might just fling in a J Hus Who Told You. Just like they might mix it in a little piece or whatnot. It gets everyone jumping, then they go back into soca again. They do that in all of the other soca islands. That is a traditional thing that they do. I think what they're saying here is that, and which I saw, is that there are trucks, and look, Poe.
I don't like the fact they use J2K.
I know. See, this is the thing.
That.
This is the thing, yeah. If I'm being honest,
I don't like that.
and if we are being honest, maybe your point is ultimately how you feel, but I think that because J2K is your friend, you feel like he's under attack. And so your argument is based upon the fact that they're using his thing as his truck in particular, because I didn't see the other trucks. They're using his truck as an example of what shouldn't happen, and you feel a way about that.
No, that's an add-on. That goes without saying. If someone's my friend and they do something, of course. But
if you push that aside,
the last thing I want is for people to believe that's the only reason why I'm here. Me and culture is documented. Before niggas even knew what it was, it's documented about my importance and my significance, how important these things are to me. It's documented. So I don't want people to think just because J2K is my friend, all of a sudden I care about Carnival. My history is documented. I'm certified when it comes to this thing. So I've done youth work from 15 years old. So when it comes to issues within black culture, it's not because J2K is my friend. I'm certified.
Okay, fair. Okay. Maybe it isn't. But Carnival, Notting Hill Carnival, is massive. Exactly. This here, in what they're doing, yeah, or like not just them, but it's like this is sound system culture. So there's nothing stopping anyone from setting up a sound system and doing the same thing. Like no,
it's
like always,
thing.
Huh?
Like Chuckie,
it is the same thing.
It's not Chuckie. How can you tell me my experience? I wouldn't tell you your experience. So I'm saying to you, my experience in Carnival, this is my preference because this is what I've done.
But your
since
preference
I was
is,
with my dad.
but that's not. But that's not. Like traditionally, that is not what that strip is for. I'm saying what they are doing.
My guy, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying this is how I've experienced Carnival.
Yeah.
We are in Notting Hill,
right.
West London of England, where there's predominantly white people. And I'm saying, I know for a fact, no one can't tell me nothing and I have no proof. But any work you want to do over here, you're going to have to compromise it a little bit.
I don't think you need to compromise the strip.
But that's what they're... of course you need to compromise.
I don't think you do.
No, you need to compromise.
Bro, if you don't like it, you don't have to be there.
You know you're narrowing it down to the strip.
You do know if you don't like it, you don't have to be there. It's free.
My guy, 1 second. You're narrowing it down to the strip. I've just said to you, I spoke about Carnival and one aspect of Carnival that I'm not going to like. I've then said to you, the reasons why I don't think this is smart is purely because you're making a situation that covers a large space predominantly for a group of people that don't even have enough people to fill out Carnival in the first place. So I then say to myself, that means you're going to have, where there's bigger spaces, smaller groups of people, and where there's smaller spaces, bigger groups of people. Now, if you think Carnival is definitely declining because they're playing other music, I would say, I don't see that in the press. Do you know what I see in the press? Violence, stabbing, all of this stuff when it's not really happening. So what do we think about, and I could be wrong, but 2024 Carnival, loads of spaces which are condensed everywhere in the back streets with bare youths.
Do you know why I disagree? Do you see how many clips of the strip,
Yeah.
Do you remember there was a video that went around of the people that were dancing on the bus stop and they fell through.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, because we came out of the end of COVID,
that was crazy.
There was X amount of people that came to COVID, to Carnival, yeah? If you saw how packed the Elaborate Grove Road, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it was absolutely, and I was stuck in that, bro. And I ain't never been in anything like that before.
For what?
Because there was just a crazy amount of people on Elaborate Grove Road.
Yeah.
So you're saying that your argument is...
So you're talking about the Elaborate Grove Road where the buses are?
Yes, exactly.
That's what I'm speaking about. So that's the biggest open space. Imagine that in the back streets is what I'm saying to you.
Nah. So no.
Because remember that at that time I was there because I was squashed on the wall. Obviously I was with a pretty thing, it's me. And then I remember the music that was being played. It wasn't predominantly soca, which means a large proportion of the people that were there, and they're younger people, I doubt it was just soca that brought them there. And I know for a fact, because I was there, it wasn't soca that was just playing on the strip. So now we're going to have potentially, not there for sure, potentially them situations happening in the... I think that's even worse, bro.
I disagree, bro.
So that if them people are not going to be there celebrating it, even though we can see the
they'll still be there. They will still be there. Do you know what I think? One of the reason beings why that strip was as big, why Carnival was like that in the first place anyway, was pretty much because we came out of COVID and everyone was in their yard.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That was one element.
That's
of
an
it.
extreme.
That's one
example.
element of it.
Yeah.
One element of it. Yeah. But I also think that like sometimes for some people, if you keep the tradition the way that it is, what will happen is for a couple of years, everyone will go to Carnival because they think it is what it is. And then after a period of time, when they realize, right, this thing is just too traditional for me, they're not even going to come in the first place anyway. Why? Because maybe they can't find the dance hall that they want because they're going to certain places they can't, you know, for whatever reason, when they go to Saxon, they're not even playing it. And when you go to the strip, all it is soca. So it's not for you. It's just not for you.
Do you know what it is?
I don't think you should compromise that.
I'm going to do this. Because, do you know what's so crazy? Like, I don't want to sound like I'm not making sense. Because I know I am. So I've got to figure out, how do I make this more defiant so people can understand that I'm not saying something that just doesn't make sense.
People, I remember being gassed to go and listen to Fat Joe lean back at Carnival. Now, that nigga ain't from anywhere in the Caribbean. That guy can't even say the word nigga. That song has nothing to do with Caribbean culture. But I remember that being in a group of people and doing lean back, and there was a bag of us. That's 2004, Chuckie. That's before I even met J2K. So just to reiterate and emphasize my point, you see all of their moments moving forward where there's large groups of people celebrating one particular song. I have never seen it being soca. That's number one. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. One second.
Irrelevant, bro.
But it's not irrelevant because I haven't landed. You've just stopped me halfway through. Let me land. I've always seen them situations on the strip. Always. And I've always seen that large group of people knowing that song word for word on the strip. So my third and final part of it is, Chuckie, there is nothing you can say to me in this room that will convince me. Maybe people at home and so on and so forth. But there's nothing that you can say to convince me that that group of people, if they're not accommodated on the strip, that them being accommodated off the strip in areas where there's less room will not be an issue. There's no way anybody can convince me, because I've seen, even just last year, how mad it was one point when we turned the corner at the roundabout and you go down that long road when you're on the strip on Labrador, Westbourne. So when we got to Westbourne and we've gone down there, yeah, the only thing they had to do to stop the man them going crazy was play one particular song. I can't remember what song it was, but it wasn't soca, it wasn't dancehall. And then all the youth them started listening. And I was like, raw, like this thing's crazy. So I'm saying to you, there is an influence, Chuckie, whether we want to admit it or not, of not just dancehall, push dancehall to the side, or reggae, push soca to the side. There's other musical influences and people that come. And if they're not catered to, I'm telling you, Chuckie, this is basic. There's gonna be issues.
There's two things at play here. One, Carnival, I'm not sure if you know, over years have been suppressed.
Yeah, I know.
By the government or whoever. Yeah?
I know.
So Carnival traditionally was bigger.
Yeah.
Essentially, the argument here, if anything, should be to expand Carnival to how it traditionally was before.
Then you don't have a problem.
That's one element of it, yeah. But secondly, I think that like you're also looking at things through one particular lens, because I remember a time when I said, and I do this sometimes, I'll be like, the Carnival tune is going to be this. Then all of a sudden, everyone starts to remind me that my world and what I see in Carnival is much bigger than through what is through my own eyes. So when I'm looking at, okay, cool, this rap song or this thing or whatever, there's still a whole world of people that listen to soca music or whatever, and they have their own soca songs. And I believe that the majority of the people that come to Carnival are not me, or like they're not me or the soca lot. These are just white people that are coming to, or people that are like from outside of the culture that are coming to experience a celebration of culture. And I think that those celebrations should be done in the right way. So when people go and they see it and they view it, it's supposed to be authentic, or they're coming away from it looking at it through a diluted lens. That's my argument. Bearing in mind, I'm not a soca guy.
Bear in mind,
I'm not a soca guy. But I'm just saying that like, and it's not going to change me. I'm not going to, it doesn't mean I'm going to stand on the strip, and it's not really my thing. But what I'm saying is that like, There's so much space, and if anything,
There isn't.
and if anything,
There
there
isn't.
is, bro.
Chucks,
you know what there
man.
is? There is. There definitely
We
is.
complain about every year about people being stuck in certain. There's not
Bro,
so much space.
There's space.
There might be
there's
alright,
space,
now we're
and it's
cha-
not a problem. It's actually not even a problem.
I don't know.
It's not a problem.
Every
bro.
year it is though.
It's not
Every
a
year
problem.
it's a problem though.
It's not a
Chucky.
problem. All they took, it's not a problem, bro.
No,
it's not a problem.
I
All
understand-
the problem is that that strip is being diluted from a cultural aspect. That's the biggest problem from my perspective. And all you need to do is campaign. All we need to do is either campaign for more space, if anything, or just set up a sound system. It's not hard.
Bro, like
It's
I
not
said,
hard.
every time I go to the strip,
Just leave them.
the sound I predominantly hear is soca. I've never gone
the
to the
strip?
strip and heard any other sound predominantly more than soca. Last year,
On
I
the
was
strip?
last year on the strip, I spent the whole of Carnival on the strip.
Bro, do you know what?
Hear-
Do you know what? This is the thing, yeah. We are clearly seeing this very differently because I was on the strip.
Can I finish?
Go
Can I
on.
finish? The only two.
I've never been on a truck, by the way. I've never been on a truck.
I was on the truck, and
There you go.
I was walking on the strip with the other
I'm
trucks.
always on the strip.
Alright,
so
sweet.
I didn't.
I'm on the
experiences
truck
are
where there's other trucks, so like those are the things I'm speaking about. Those trucks are the
Okay,
music they
fair.
play. So therefore, I'm in the thick of it. When I've come off the bus, J2K's bus could not compete with the soca thing in front and could not even touch the soca thing behind.
But that's two.
My bro,
That's two.
I can't finish. When I've walked off and said, let me see if this is actually really happening. I've come to see, if I'm honest with you, Chucks.
Bro, I gotta go.
We got to
I've literally gotta go.
And look who's coming
Well,
here
go,
as
brother.
well.
Oh, it's mad. Go on,
Brother,
just I don't want you to finish.
Yeah,
your
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Go on.
I'm saying, when I walked off and I didn't see every bus, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Chucky, every bus was soca. And I was loving it because, to be honest with you, people were going crazy.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
going
yeah.
crazy. So when I hear them make the other sounds an issue, I'm like, do you know the only reasons why you will think it's an issue? Genuinely. The biggest reactions from people I see, large groups that are recorded, is alternative music. Barring that, my bro, you make me. I'm just hearing. I don't have no other
You
reason
can't
to know
do-
soca.
You can't do that, bro.
What do you mean I
you
can't do that?
Like soca is bigger than just that one song, and
No,
also
I'm saying,
on top of that, bro.
No, but I'm saying to you, I
can't
shouldn't know
mimic
that
it
song.
like
I shouldn't know any soca songs. But I end up knowing soca songs when they come on because the
You
only
know
time
that song, no, bro. You know that song because of it's a classic that we've heard from long
Yeah,
time.
because I'm from
But
Carnival.
if you-
I'm
Not
going
from
from Carnival.
but it's just a thing.
How can you tell me
But,
where
bro,
I've heard the song from? This is
But bro,
ridiculous.
hear what I'm saying, yeah? Hear what I'm saying?
God.
I'm on the strip.
Yeah.
I'm not on nothing, bro. I'm on the strip.
But you said you had to go to the sound system part.
Of course, bro. But I'll go and get food. So like I'll be there. What? Okay, so let's say for example the Sunday. When I went on the Sunday, yeah, my
you
first
got
thing that I did, ate, whatnot. We're standing on the strip. We're on Kensal Road. So before I go to the sound system, there's a bunch of trucks that are going past me on Kensal Road. Yeah, there was one truck that was an Afrobeat truck, and I thought, oh, okay, this is interesting. There wasn't much people around it, but there was something going on. The next truck that came by was just playing bare dancehall. The next truck that came by was playing soca. The next truck that came by after that was like playing a bit of like it was like some UK songs or whatever. And I remember I'm standing next to my mum, yeah, and I'm saying to my, because I was with my mum for that first part of it, and I'm saying, rah, like it's feeling different.
Yeah, that's
it
not
wasn't
right.
it wasn't a problem because everything other than the Afrobeat one, it was just at that time they were playing music that I just didn't really like. But everything else, I liked it. So from a selfish point of view, I'm still enjoying myself. I'm eating food, but I'm watching this and I'm saying to myself, this just feels very different to me. When I came back on the Monday again, before I've hit the sound system, I'm standing where Dub Vendor used to be, which is by the flyover, and it's the same thing again. I'm like, it's a mixture of floats. Now, it wouldn't, to me, I don't think I would notice it if, in my experience, there was soca float. It's all playing, and it's everyone playing mass because again, that's their thing.
Yeah,
they
mass,
are
yeah.
playing mass. There's a whole thing happening here. Okay, cool. They're just doing their thing or whatever, and then you know, there's like the one-off truck that is doing X, Y, and Z. It's like, again, when I'm standing on the strip, I'm just hearing a mixture of stuff, and in my mind, that's like we are diluting the tradition of what happens here. From a selfish point of view, I can still enjoy it because I'm getting elements of the sound system culture on the strip. All I'm saying is we need to just find a way to leave them to do their thing, to play mass. if anything, widen Carnival. Let's have that conversation. Let's make it how it used to be, or at least, I don't know, 20% or 30%, and just have a sound system. That's what the garage lot do.
So one part that can't happen is you're saying widen Carnival. It's not up to us lot.
Yeah, it's not.
So
but you know what? Maybe if you make enough noise.
No, it's not up to us lot. Come on now. We make enough noise about no racism and fucking hell, Jesus.
True.
So I'm saying to you, when it comes to this whole thing about the music, see that experience you had. If I had that, I would share your view. I wouldn't want to see all of that because, like I said, I want to see gal them enjoy themselves. I like Carnival for them type of reasons, and soca make gal them enjoy themselves. So I'm not trying to say get rid of the soca. It's not my vibe.
No.
I'm just
you're not saying
if I'm going to the strip,
you're saying make
and
a
it's
compromise.
100% soca. For me, in a England, that just doesn't make it. Even as a marketing strategy, if you want to grow Carnival and make it bigger,
we don't need to.
But you're only saying the thing. Everything you're saying is based upon what's happened. And if you're taking a look what's happened, we're complaining about what's happened. So when you change what's happening now, it's going to change the dynamic of it. So it's all good and well saying we've got 2 million people at Carnival now, but that's due to the things that people don't like. I'm saying if Carnival is ideally what you want, then I want to see what happens every single year. Because I'm saying to you, young people have a huge influence on everything. And if we're trying to say we don't see the videos of younger people enjoying Carnival in a way that makes someone at home go, I can't wait to go Carnival next year and do my thing. And it's always going to be larger groups of young people. I'm just saying they have an influence on this situation. I wouldn't want to just eradicate everything they're saying just because it may for 5 minutes every bloody hour ruin the traditional side of Carnival. It's like, my guy, I'm asking for 5 to 7% alternative music on the strip.
No. So even then, like the 5%, I don't think anyone's arguing against that.
If it's 50% is ridiculous, Chuckie. 25% is ridiculous. But I'm saying to you,
think that's what it is, bro. That's my argument.
I don't want that.
But that's the argument. So the argument is that I don't think that like it's a thing where they're saying that every truck should. Oh, when I went to Antigua, that's not what happened. But when I went to Antigua and I'm fully in the mix of a traditional carnival, there was still little changes of music because that's what they do. We're all here together.
Remember I'm talking to you about this, but I'm saying to you, I talk to other people about this. And when I talk to you about this, if that was what I was getting from them, no problem. There's nothing to argue about. Chuckie, when I talk to these people, they say 100% soca. So I go, that doesn't make sense to me. And I can't argue the point that you're arguing with them because they're not saying what you're saying.
Okay, I hear that. But hear what I'm saying. Even if they turn around and they said 100% soca, I'd say, yeah, go on with it.
That's fair
because
enough.
I'm saying, ultimately I'm saying at the end of it all, yeah, if it's just not for you, then you don't need to be there. We'll figure the rest out.
Listen, I understand that, but again, we'll just go around in circles. I go R&B slow jams, I hear dancehall.
Yeah, not all the time.
No, but fair enough, but I hear alternatives. Can't tell me I don't.
Not all the time, bro.
Whatever, man, I hear alternatives. I go grime. I can go grime dance and hear dancehall. I go to a grime event and they play dancehall.
Do you know what? Actually, let me take you up on this.
Let me finish because that triggered you.
Go on.
Because it happens.
Go on.
I'm saying to you, I go to most things in life which is for people and there is a compromise. Everybody works at a compromise. Bloody football's working at a compromise right now. And I'm just saying, for these individuals to just go, we're not willing to compromise. I'm just like, my guy. You know what the saddest thing is? No matter what you tell me, for you to hold Carnival in Notting Hill, you are compromising with someone. Why don't we try and also compromise with our own?
Okay,
you have to compromise.
Firstly, R&B and slow jams is a false equivalent because we are 2 years old. Carnival is, go and do the research, please. So that's traditionally their thing. Secondly, the other thing is that if you come to R&B and slow jams and ask for bashment, I'm going to tell you to leave. Because it's R&B and slow jams.
But no one's
so wait.
We're going to
wait. So wait. If you come and it so happens to happen, then it's a bonus. You can enjoy that. We give that to you as a little thing, a little treat if you want.
Pause. So why do you do that?
Just to change it up a little bit. That's it.
Why else do you know?
Bro, we don't have to do that.
You don't. But why else do you do it?
Do you know why we didn't do it at Roundhouse?
But why else do you do it?
Just for a little change. That's it.
Also, literally. You know the audience for that.
No, not at all.
You don't think the audience for that
not even a tiny bit.
So not even a tiny bit. So you would provide alternative music for an audience of people that's not there.
Let me give you an actual fact. I'm going to give you an actual fact. Yeah, when we did the first ever R&B and slow jams, which was in Trent Park, you came there. Yeah. So it was R&B and slow jams the whole time. Slick came and played after me. Yeah. There was no musical process at this point, so it was the first one that we ever did. So I never sat down with the DJs and said, at this time play this era, this time play that era. It was everyone just did a free for all or whatever, yeah? So anyway, after me, Slick came back on and started playing R&B, and then he decided, you know what, let me just change it a tiny bit. He did, it went off, and then we said, do you know what? Maybe if we do this, we could just call it an interval period. So sometimes if you come, you might get it, but you might not get it. It's just a bonus. But if you come and you expect it, it's a problem for you because it's R&B and slow jams.
All I'm saying is this.
And that's what the strip does basically, by the way. They give an interval period.
Me. When you work at a compromise, people are happier. I'm saying you make products for people. Now, I don't feel that every time I go to R&B slow jams, if I hear any Sean Paul, I don't walk out of that event thinking to myself, oh, that's not authentic R&B event. I appreciate we work at things that are compromised. So if your objective is to not lose tradition in Carnival, I don't understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, how 5 to 7% will make you lose tradition when you're traditionally throwing something that's in England. It's not even in Trinidad.
I don't think anyone's saying 5 to 10%. By the way,
no, I don't. Some people. Remember, I'm arguing with you. When I talk to take this conversation out of this, this is what everyone's arguing. I'm saying, but I only want 5 to 10%, or 5 to 7.
By the way, that 5 to 7 changes the whole dynamic of J2K's thing. By the way,
what's that? Of course it does.
That, right?
Of course it. But this is not about. You keep making it about that, my guy. Not me. I'm making it about my dad. I'm making it about Fat Joe Lean back when I wasn't around J2K then. This is my experience.
And I'm making it about tradition of soca.
Furthermore, grime. There's been certain grime times when I'm walking on the street.
Yeah, but do you know what? That's because of the BPM thing, and that's what I was telling you about. It's like certain soca songs are 140 BPM, 139. So sometimes what they will do is they'll be playing soca, and then as a little fun, they'll just dash in a pow or like a.
And I'm saying to you, if that's the compromise they're speaking about, you ain't hearing a peep out of me. I've said that. I've just said. You said,
that's not you, the case.
Not you. Dave said, when I spoke to them, because I told you, she was angry at me at 2:30 in the morning. It's too angry. It's too early.
She wasn't in the country.
Whatever. That's what I said. Whatever. You're never. I've caught you. I've backed you in the corner, and you didn't say that. You said, "Oh, you must think everyone's at the same." But I'm looking at the way you're talking. I'm like, I know this. You're London. You're Caribbean London. You can't.
But she might be from Manchester. EA, what was you going to say and talk loud?
I was going to say you're both. I feel like you both have a point, right? Whereby. The tradition shouldn't be lost, and the reality is, for somebody like you who's been in it for a long time, or somebody like you've been in it a long time.
Not as long as I ain't been in long as Chuckie, but
the fact is that you guys kind of understand the tradition. When coming to the younger generation, they don't.
So then, what do you do? Do you dilute the tradition because they don't understand it, or do you preserve it and then whoever's here for it stays with it? And whoever isn't goes
Pause
somewhere
for a
else.
second. Pause. You've made it black and white. Nothing in life is black and
white. Well, you do that shit all the time.
Possibly.
What are you talking about?
Let's create a grey area.
Black and white guy. What?
Oh, didn't you?
You are full of shit.
Let me go. Let me finish your point.
Go on.
1 second. This obviously people at home watch this, raise voices and nonsense. We wanted people to improve their argument, not raise their voice. My argument, pretty decent. Go on.
He came up with said something about R&B and the fact that they have an interval period because they just play alternative music and whatnot.
I wasn't picking it.
Sometimes, but
everyone does it. I heard dancehall at Emirates. You know, I first heard when I went to the Highbury, pub music. We're evolving.
I'm with you.
Let's go.
But the main thing he said is that you're coming there, and if you expect that music, it's a problem because it's R&B. The problem, the main thing here is that people are going to Carnival, they're expecting to hear dancehall. They're expecting to hear X, Y, Z.
That's the argument.
But they shouldn't be.
That's the argument.
So this is what I will say to this, just to close it, because this is, for me, this is crazy. If I come to your house and I never take off my shoes, and after 9 years you go, Big man, you got to start taking your shoes. Bruv, I've never had this experience before. And now you're just throwing this on me. Pause. Great song by IMDb. I'm saying to you now, we take a look at Carnival. I said, even though Chuckie is trying to create this narrative, and I got to make sure the comments are correct, I'm not making this about J2K. I knew Carnival before J2K, as crazy as it sounds. And I'm saying to you, my experiences in Carnival from a young man on the strip, I've not just heard fully soca. So if you're coming to do that now in 2024, me saying, my God, this is a bit weird, you've created this narrative in my mind. I didn't make Carnival. I didn't tell people what to play. This is what I've experienced. Now, if that changes as I've become an adult, naturally I'm going to go, what do you mean? And then I go, what about that 5 to 7%? No. I'm like, raw. Then Chuckie comes here and says, no, they do play other alternative music. So what are you arguing when I say 5 to 7%? It looks like you just want the whole of soca.
The music is played. The music is played within soca music.
That's not.
So the argument is
I'm
that.
cool for that.
And also, remember, there's a certain style in the way that they play it.
I'm cool for that.
So that
I'm not heard me complain. I'm just saying that's all still.
So their
my argument is still right. It's alternative music.
So their argument is that the trucks that don't do that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Okay, not from what I read. They just want soca. They just want soca, and that's what they want.
The main argument is that
Playing dancehall.
Yeah.
Mainly, that's why it's there. It shouldn't be there.
it should be a sound system. That's what I'm saying.
But if it's a soca truck that is gonna play dancehall or any other alternative,
I know what he's saying. I've said 5 times in this convo, you're gonna edit it so you can watch it back. You're a smart lad. I've said to him on numerous times, if they were saying the same thing Chuckie's saying, we wouldn't be saying any of this now. But guess what, Mr. Big Man, maybe to you, I am my own man with my own 24 hours. I'm not Molly May. I believe we all have different 24 hours. Within the 24 hours that I experience and I speak to these guys at 2:31 in the morning when they claim they're in other countries, but they're really in Manchester, they're upset. And I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. But I'm saying the same thing Chuckie's saying, apparently.
I would go as far as saying this. If it is going to be a black and white thing, keep the 5 to 7%. But if you don't want to, then dash away the 5 to 7%. Cool.
All I'm going to say is I feel something.
But if it's any more than that, that's a problem.
No problem. I would like to see Carnival moving forward now. I want soca. You're right. Let's keep it all soca on the strip. I'm sure everything's going to be nice and safe and everyone's going to have a good time. Yeah,
probably. Yeah, I think so. And then I think what will happen is after a period of time, the people that it's not for them will just stop coming. Yeah. Do you get what I'm
lot
saying?
think this is what I love. You lot are so funny. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. All them kids where the carnival just cropped up on their fucking lap, they're not gonna stop going. Big man, I could walk out my door. I'm in Carnival. Why am I gonna stop going? What are we talking about?
Rave.
When I was a younger, I was going BP for no bloody reason. They had little music in there. We were stealing drinks. And you're gonna tell me not go? No. People are gonna go to their convenience. If I can go on a strip and see gal, I'm going. The moment I get bored,
we'll go there and listen to soca on the strip. Then how about that?
Cool, no problem.
Go and no. In fact, let me rephrase that. Go and take in some tradition. How about that?
Cool. Yeah.
Go and take that, and then if you want, come and check me by.
Go tell the Queen as well. Apparently, she loaned some gold back to Ghana. You know, England. Let's just all take on tradition.
Hey, by the way, we had a guest here now.